Hello, everyone, and Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us today for Where the Trucks Are. My name is Brad Zaitsoff, and I'm the Director of Marketing for Tailwind Transportation Software. We're a fully web-based, continuously improving TMS, available by monthly subscription, and I'll be your moderator for today's webinar. Now, as you entered the webinar, you likely noticed this old record cover from that famous early 60s song, Where the Boys Are. Only today, you can substitute the word trucks for boys, as these are really becoming increasingly difficult to find. You see, for a good number of years, we have had load boards where shippers and brokers could post loads, but for the longest time, it's been a challenge for the industry to identify, one, where the trucks are, and two, when they'll be available. Tailwind recently completed our integration with an application called Smart Capacity, an application created by our friends at Trucker Tools that helps you identify where your trucks are, what other trucks are available to take another load proximate to your desired pickup location, and when that truck might become available. As such, we are very fortunate to be joined today by Prasad Galapali, the founder and CEO of Trucker Tools, as well as their Director of Customer Success, Chuck Benersic. Welcome, Prasad and Chuck.
Hi, Brad. Nice to be here. Thanks.
Thank you. And for any of hi, Chuck. And for any of you who have previously attended Tailwind webinars, you're likely familiar with our head trainer, Linda Clare, who will be showing us how the Smart Capacity integration works with Tailwind. Welcome, Linda.
Thanks, Brad. I'm excited to be here too.
Thanks, Linda. Now, for a bit of initial housekeeping, this webinar is being recorded and will be sent out to all the registrants in the next day or so. And while webinar attendees are on mute, if you have a question, please send us a message in the chat box and we'll respond to them at the end of our presentation. And here's how today's webinar will work. Linda will give a brief tour of how you can access Trucker Tools Smart Capacity in the Tailwind TMS. We'll then turn the presentation over to Prasad and Chuck from Trucker Tools, who will take us through an overview of the Smart Capacity application. We'll then talk about how you can get started with these systems, and we'll end by responding to your questions in a Q&A session. The presentation portion will take about 30 minutes, and the question and answer probably about 15. And if there are questions that we don't have time for, we can also reach out to you following the webinar. So just send those through, and we'll also have a slide with contact details at the end as well. And now, before we begin, for just a bit of a temperature check for the audience, we want to do a brief poll to get a sense of where we are to focus our presentation today. So let me just get that up. So I want to find out what best describes your business model. Are you a broker or a 3PL? Are you a carrier, a trucking operation? Maybe you're a combination of brokerage and trucking, or maybe something else. Let us know, and we can share some results here. Interesting that there's quite a few that are registering as other, so that's that's kind of fascinating too. I'll give a few more seconds for people to get their votes in. All right, we'll close that poll and we can show. So we have quite a few brokers, quite a few carriers, more that are kind of a combination. So that's good to see as well. And then others in there. So yeah, that's well, oh, hopefully it's very interesting for you guys as well. Thank you for that. So now I'm going to turn things over to Linda, who will give us a brief overview of the Tailwind application, where we did the integration with Smart Capacity by Trucker Tools, and why. Over to you, Linda.
Thanks, Brad. So as you well know, Tailwind is a comprehensive transportation management software that helps you run your freight business efficiently and effectively. Our goal is to help you get your business organized and easier to run, to give you the tools that will help make it more profitable, as well as give you a bit more time to simply enjoy life. Brad's going to turn the presentation over to my screen now, so I can show you in Tailwind where we will begin this.
There you go, Linda.
Thanks, Brad. Great. Hopefully you're all seeing my screen now. This is the main page you log into when you land in the Tailwind software. By navigating to the Order module, seeing your orders listed on the screen, and choosing any order from your list. I'll grab this one, for example. Once the order is open, well, it certainly shows you all the details of the order. Here, under our More button, is the ability for you to access your Smart Capacity integration. Clicking on this Smart Capacity link will do just that. It's going to take you out to another tab on your browser where it will display Smart Capacity's application. Now, of course, for your application, it will zoom in on the areas that you're looking for. This is a test database only, so that's why you're seeing the whole map of North America. But as you well know, Tailwind is all about helping your business. This new integration we are introducing will be double-edged for you. Not only, Brad, not only can you service your customer better by finding trucks to move their loads, you also get to work toward keeping the loyalty of your carriers close by helping them with some of their items, like reducing their deadhead miles, for example. That's it, Brad. It's back to you now.
Thank you, Linda. Beyond them being really nice people, Tailwind wanted to integrate with Trucker Tools to offer our users truckload capacity data, predictive freight matching processes and workflows, capacity management tools, accurate visibility into available capacity, as well as other broker carrier collaborations. We wanted our users to be able to find the right capacity faster so you can be more proactive and efficient. And we wanted to help strengthen your partnerships as you can keep your carrier partners busy with quality loads and reduce their downtime. And now that we know how to access Smart Capacity from Tailwind, we can move into how that application works. But before we turn things over to Trucker Tools, we had another quick poll that should help us direct where to focus that part of the presentation. So we wanted to find out where your biggest interests are. So did you want to learn more about finding loads, finding trucks and capacity? Maybe it's finding customers, finding efficiencies, or maybe finding the missing coffee that you put down somewhere. There are, still a few people that are missing that coffee, and I know that oftentimes the first thing in the morning that gets me, or even later in the morning for that matter.
I'm with you, Brad. I always want to find my coffee.
Prasad, that might be something that you need to integrate into the software at some point in time.
Yeah, I think that would be in the roadmap, I guess.
All right, looks like people are finishing up with this, answering that one. So let me close the poll, and I'm just going to share the results with folks. So finding loads is a big one. Finding the capacity is probably the biggest there. Finding coffee further down the list, but still a decent percentage. So this is good to see. Oh, let me just hide those results. Perfect. I'd like to thank everyone for sharing that. I'd like to now introduce our presenters from Trucker Tools. Prasad Galapali is the founder and CEO of Trucker Tools and has 20 years of experience in trucking and shipping software, management, and product strategy. His career has spanned a variety of positions where he's engaged in the design and operation of sophisticated transportation technology solutions, as well as directing product management teams. Prior to founding Trucker Tools in 2013, Prasad was the director of product management for GetLoaded.com, an affordable and easy-to-use load board, which was eventually merged with DAT Solutions. And Chuck Minersich has over 15 years of experience in logistics, freight brokerage, and transportation management, including previous positions with XPO Logistics, Conway Multimodal, Blue Planet Logistics, and Bear Transportation. As Trucker Tools Director of Customer Success, he oversees customer implementation and feedback programs, training, education, engagement, and user support activities, as well as TMS platform integration services. Thank you very much, Prasad and Chuck, for being here today. Prasad, I'll now turn the presentation over to you.
Thank you, Brad. Thanks for having us here. We are very excited. Do you see my screen?
We do.
Okay, fantastic. So as a backdrop of the problem that our smart capacity solves for our audience or our customers, here are the top issues that brokers are facing today. The first one is 80 to 90% of the carriers that the brokers work with today fall into one load wonder. So when a carrier moves a load for a broker, after delivering the load, the carrier falls off of the system. That increases the number of calls that the brokers would have to make to find capacity, and also the cost of covering a load goes high because of that. The second one is um, there are multiple sources for customers today to find capacity, but there is no one accurate real-time source. So people are using load boards, spreadsheets, phone calls, emails, but there's no one source that truly provides them accurate information. In most cases, there's just all the other existing sources are just sending information with a lot of stale information in that. And so these are the problems that our platform is set out to solve. And so I wanted to use this as a backdrop of our conversation. So just a quick overview of what smart capacity is. Smart capacity is a carrier capacity and relationship management platform. So it helps 3PLs and brokers connect with their carriers, grow their network, and ultimately find available truck capacity in real time, proactively. That's the goal of this platform in short. And the goals that the platform is set out to solve are the three problems, right? So how do we help 3PLs and brokers convert their one load wonder carriers, the carriers that are only giving them a load, right? How do we make these carriers be repeat business for 3PLs? In other words, how do we keep these carriers in brokers' network? The second one is how do we solve the number of phone calls that brokers or 3PLs would have to make to book a load? All through providing you accurate real-time information or the best trucks first, so that ultimately your team is not wasting too much time in finding capacity. A quick way to look at our platform is how do we differentiate ourselves from existing solutions such as load boards. So I have a slide on just a comparison with an existing load boards, because today most of the brokers or 3PLs are still dependent on load boards to some degree to cover their loads. One way to look at the smart capacity is it's different from load boards in the sense when you look at a load board, about 90% of the carriers that use load boards don't typically post their trucks. Only 10% or less post their trucks. So they are, when you're calling on these trucks, you're only looking at a fraction of the available trucks. Two, since it's a public load board, everyone is calling on these trucks. With smart capacity, you get to see the visibility of all your trucks, qualified trucks, not just a fraction of them. That's a big difference. The second one is it's also based on real-time accurate information. So when a truck's booked, it doesn't show up in your network on smart capacity, so that your team is not wasting time on calling on the trucks that are already booked. With load boards, that's not feasible. I'll walk you through why we have that advantage in a second. The third one is smart capacity is a private network. So anything that you share on smart capacity platform is only visible to your qualified carriers. So your load information is not visible to others other than your qualified carriers. So I go back to the point I made earlier. Smart capacity provides you accurate truck availability information. That's feasible because we started off with a smartphone app that's very appealing to truck drivers, primarily owner operator and small carrier drivers. So it's our Trucker Tools app that helps them with cheapest fuel, service centers, pretty much anything that you name it, or the drivers would need, we provide through that app. And we have today over 550,000 truckers who use the app regularly, and that number translates into over 125,000 unique carriers. These are the small carriers and owner operators. And the app helps collect available truck capacity and provide you with that. Here is a screenshot of our active users at any given time. As you can see, they're very active on the app. So in addition to solving those three problems, the other value the smart capacity brings to the table for brokers or 3PLs is automate manual tasks. I'm not going to go over all the lists, but one in particular I would like to cover today is parsing, email parsing. So most of you are familiar with this. You get emails from carriers every day telling you where their trucks are available. When we ask our customers, most of them tell us that they don't have enough manpower to process these emails, so they typically delete those emails. And the second problem is by the time someone gets to those emails and calls the carrier, those trucks are already taken. So what we built was an email parsing engine within Smart Capacity platform that uses natural language processing and machine learning. What it does is, in real time, when you get those emails, this email parsing engine will read those emails from the carriers. Obviously, they have to be auto forwarded, and convert those emails into available trucks and verify that these trucks are still available. Then check the lane preferences for those carriers and look for matching loads in your database of available loads, pull them out and put them in an email and send that email back to the carrier and send a copy back to you so your team knows exactly what loads went to that carrier. All this within a span of few seconds. It actually takes me longer to walk you through that than the system working. And so the goal behind this is to quickly get to these available trucks for you. And then as a repeat process, when one of those trucks booked, Smart Capacity will remove them from the system, so your team is not calling on stale information. So in addition to providing you automated tasks for efficiency, it's also a private, confidential, all-in-one platform. So anything that you put on this platform is only shared with your carriers and not with anyone else. As I said earlier, it's an end-to-end solution, so help you with covering a load. Once a load is covered, the system will help you track the load from pickup to delivery. Today, tracking has become synonymous with every customer's needs, and so it's done through the GPS on the driver's smartphone, so it's very accurate. It also provides you pickup delivery confirmations, ETA alerts using traffic and weather, all those. And when the driver delivers the load, he can take a picture of bill of lading and other proof of delivery documents, send them right back to you. Again, the way that's built is it eliminates double brokering. And then once he's done with that load, the truck is reloaded with another load from your system. So that's the end-to-end platform. Here is a screenshot of the load track that's provided through Smart Capacity and a screenshot of the document scan. At this point, I would like my colleague Chuck, who heads Customer Success Department, to walk you through the dashboard and carrier market data and give you an idea of how one would use Smart Capacity. Chuck?
Thanks, Prasad. And if you could, can you please confirm you can see my screen?
Yes, I can.
We can.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. And thanks, Brad. We're excited to have this partnership with Tailwind and to work with the Tailwind community. As Prasad mentioned, I'd like to show you a little bit of the Smart Capacity tool today. And what you're looking at now is the landing page when you would log into Smart Capacity. And what this is providing is real-time market data. It's giving you a quick snapshot of how many trucks are available in each market and where you have loads available. And it gives you a quick ability to look and see where you might need to focus more attention. So a green thumbs up, when you're seeing that green thumbs up, it shows you that there's more trucks available in a market than the number of loads that you have available. Similarly, a red thumbs down is implying the opposite. That means that you have more loads than you do trucks available. Probably indicates a market that you need to spend more time on. And I'm going to pick one of these markets for our demonstration here. I'm going to pick Dallas today. And if I look at that Dallas market, our company is Smart Logistics for the demo. It's showing us that we have 23 trucks available to us, and we have 4 loads that don't currently have a carrier assigned. So like Prasad mentioned, this is real-time data. So that load data is coming directly from Tailwind, telling us how many loads that you have available that you don't have a carrier match to. In the truck data, there is real-time as well. So that's data that we've already cleaned up, and like Prasad mentioned, remove those trucks that we know are no longer in that area. It's the best real-time data we have to show you what trucks are available in that market. Below that Smart Logistics, what we're showing you is the whole market data. So based on all of the brokers that are using the Smart Capacity platform, how many trucks and how many loads are available. And it gives you that opportunity to compare yourself in that market to the rest of the Smart Capacity community. So you can see there's 23 trucks available to you, which is the same number as trucks available in the whole community. So you're seeing the same number of trucks as every other broker. On the other hand, there's 4 loads available and 11 loads in the market. So there are about 7 loads available out there in the market that aren't your loads, but you're doing pretty good in that market. So it really gives you that opportunity to quickly look at real-time data in a market and determine where you may need to focus more energy. It can also help you from a pricing perspective. If you see that there's 23 trucks available in Dallas today, and then tomorrow there's only 5 trucks available, it starts to give you an idea that there's something happening in that market that may impact pricing. So different ways that you can start using that data to your advantage. Next, I want to show you the loads list and the freight matching component of Smart Capacity. On the left-hand side here, I pulled up our loads list. And again, this is coming directly from that Tailwind integration. So these are all the loads that you currently have that don't have a carrier assigned to them. And we can quickly see as well how many carriers match up to that shipment. And that's going to be based on the carrier having a truck in that area, but also being interested in delivering to the place where that where that shipment would deliver. So we can see this load has 0 matches at the moment. That's one where we may need to focus on a little bit to try to find a truck. Other ones we might not have to pay as much attention because there's many more matches. For our demo here, I'm going to go ahead and pull up this Louisville, Kentucky to Portland load. And you can see when I pull up the shipment, it gives me a little more detail. So on the left-hand side here, I have all the details of this shipment, again, coming directly from Tailwind. On the right-hand side, we have a suggested route for that shipment, showing you the origin at A and the Portland, Oregon destination at B. And then down below here on the bottom, we have our list of matching trucks. So these are trucks, again, that's real-time data coming in, showing you that a truck is available there. And then we're going to prioritize that list for you. So we're looking at a few different factors in that scenario. We want to make sure that that truck's ETA is going to match up with the time that your shipment's supposed to pick up. We also want to make sure that we're trying to limit the deadhead for the carrier. And we're telling you the last time that we had some communication with that driver or carrier confirming that they were still available. The other thing that we're looking at is where that carrier typically delivers. And we're using 2 pieces of information on that. We're going to look at where the carrier tells us that they like to deliver, but we're also looking at their history in the Smart Capacity platform. So Prasad talked about machine learning. This is another place where we're using machine learning to start to get an idea of what areas carriers are going to. And we can use that to better predict whether or not they're going to be available to pick up your shipment based on where your shipment's delivering. We're going to prioritize the carriers that we have the highest confidence in so that the highest confidence matches are going to appear at the top of this list. And like Prasad talked about, we're trying to limit the number of calls you make. this is one of the ways that we're trying to do that. We're really trying to get it so that you can cover a load in 5 calls instead of the 30 to 40 calls that we hear people are typically making today. And that's a combination of having the real-time data as well as this prioritized list of trucks based on confidence. And I'm going to go ahead and select a carrier here and show you some other details. So you can see when I selected that carrier, we got a little bit of additional information on this map. It's showing me some areas and some percentages that align with those areas. And what this is telling me is where this carrier typically delivers for you when they pick up a shipment. So we've indicated that this carrier probably will go to Portland, Oregon, because we've seen that happen in our system, or they've told us that they would. But we know that for you, when they pick up, they typically are delivering in Dubuque, Iowa, or 49% of the times they're delivering that Cedar Rapids, Iowa area. So it starts to give you a glimpse of how you're utilizing this carrier. And 2 things, how you might be able to utilize them differently. Maybe you weren't aware that they would go to the West Coast, and that's something you can start utilizing them for. Or you can quickly see that they would like to get a load back to Iowa once you've landed them in Portland. It gives you a little bit more of an intelligence when you start to call this carrier and try to book this load. Another screen I'll show you here is C carrier matches. So when I select C carrier matches, it's going to show me if this carrier has any other trucks available. In this case, we know that they have that truck in Florence, Kentucky, because that's the load we were working on. But we can also see that they have a truck in Nebraska. And similarly, for this Kentucky load, we actually have 5 loads that would match up well with that carrier. If we had had any loads that matched up to that Nebraska truck, it would show us that as well. So it really gives you that opportunity on one phone call to try to book multiple trucks or to offer multiple different shipments. If that Portland load didn't work for them, we have other loads available to offer them. So it gives you a quick ability to try to book multiple trucks with one phone call or to offer multiple shipments when you're having a hard time selling the one you were initially working on. The other thing I'd like to show you here is that we can send a quote to this carrier. And rather than just do one, I'm going to show you that we could actually select a handful of these carriers. Or if I wanted to, I could select all of the carriers. And now I'm going to go ahead and send out that quote. So with 2 clicks here, I can send an offer to this carrier to see if they'd like to take this shipment. In this case, I'm actually sending it to a group of carriers. In this way, once I've hit that button, we're sending an email to all of those carriers, letting them know that this load is available. So we just emailed 23 carriers, giving them the load details, offering them that dollar value that we put in, and also adding any comments that we suggested. Instead of having to pick up the phone, we just contacted 23 carriers, allowing them to provide us feedback on whether or not they'd like to take this shipment. And in the email that we send, the carrier also has the opportunity to press one button and respond back to you. You would get a response in your email, but you'd also have that response pop up here. So you can see in this quote history, all of those quotes that we sent. You'd also see if any of those carriers responded. So it gives you that opportunity to start a negotiation with the carrier without even necessarily having to pick up the phone. There are definitely a lot of other features in Smart Capacity that we'd love to show you, but in the interest of time, I'm going to turn it back over to Brad.
Thank you very much, Chuck and Prasad. It's great to see the capabilities available in Trucker Tools. Oh, I don't know if my screen is showing here yet. Sorry. There we go. It's great to see the capabilities available in Trucker Tools Smart Capacity. It really is a significant breakthrough in the evolution of the freight industry. Now, we anticipated getting some questions regarding what needs to be put in place in order to use Smart Capacity with Tailwind. So first of all, you need to be signed up with the Tailwind Enterprise application. And secondly, you need to sign up for the Trucker Tools phone application with Smart Capacity. Chuck, can you take us through that?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. The best way to get a hold of us is actually to reach out to us at the email at the bottom of the screen Brad's showing there, which is sales@truckertools.com. If you'd like to reach out to us by phone, you can do so at the phone number 703-955-3560. And by reaching out to us, we can definitely give you some more information and get you going on the path to sign up with Smart Capacity. Right now, we're offering a special price for the folks joining us through Tailwind, and that's going to be a promotional offer that's available through January. Our pricing is actually based on a tiered structure. So we've looked at your specific needs, based on your volume and try to best find the value that's going to make it right for you. I'm going to give you an example. That example is going to be based off of a broker that does 250 or fewer shipments each month. So based on that broker that's running about 250 loads, the cost for smart capacity during our January promotion is going to be $199 per month. And that's about a $50 savings over our normal pricing. And as Prasad mentioned, that subscription to smart capacity also includes load tracking. So that's not something that you're paying extra for. That's included in that $199 per month. And the way we like to think about this is, if you're matching 2 shipments through smart capacity, the system really pays for itself at that price. We're also going to save you additional money by saving time that it takes to cover a load. So we talked about trying to get you a position where you're only making 5 calls versus 30 calls to cover a load. That's an additional savings of about $63 per load. And it saves you 85% of your time.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Chuck. Appreciate that. So there you have it. With Tailwind and Smart Capacity by Trucker Tools, you can now know where the trucks are, and you don't need a turntable to do it. I'd now like to open up the floor to some questions, and we have been getting a few coming in here, so I'll just get started with those. So somebody wants to just a quick kind of recap of the pricing again. So I can quickly touch on what it is for Tailwind. So again, with the Tailwind Enterprise application, it's $139 per user per month, and with that you get the robust, the full kind of TMS, including the customer and carrier portals, and then you'll also need Trucker Tools. So Chuck, do you want to touch on that a little bit regarding the pricing again?
Sure. Like we said, Brad, it's really going to be based on a broker's volume to best meet their needs and value. So we provided the one example for a broker that has 250 or fewer shipments per month. For any other brokers, we'd love to hear from you, either at that sales email, sales@truckertools.com, or at the phone number 703-955-3560. And we can talk more about what that would look like for your specific operation.
Yeah, it looks like people are interested in the money side of things. Tailwind Enterprise offered as pay-as-you-go. Linda, do you want to touch on that?
You bet, Brad. Thanks so much for that. Yes, Tailwind is a pay-as-you-go. It's a monthly subscription based on the tier you choose. We have a standard, a pro, and an enterprise tier. Smart capacity integration is included in our enterprise tier at $139 per month per user. Back to you, Brad.
All right, thanks, Linda. Here's another one for you, Chuck. Maybe, how does smart capacity know where my and other trucks are?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great question, and there's actually quite a few different places that we're getting that information from. But the biggest one Prasad talked about was through our app. So because we're getting that direct interaction with carriers and drivers through our app, that gives us a good idea of what those drivers are doing by the utilization of the different features in the app and where those trucks are. So that's one source. Other sources include the email parsing that Prasad talked about, as well as the ability for carriers to directly post their equipment either through our app or through the web portal.
Oh, thank you. And it looks like a privacy kind of related question. Do other companies see where my trucks are if I'm using the Trucker Tools app? Prasad, do you want to take that one?
Sure, Brad. No. When you use smart capacity, all your information is confidential. So when you book a truck, and on a load, the truck goes into a protected private view where no other broker who is working with that carrier will not see that truck. And so the goal behind this is smart capacity encourages carriers to stay with you for longer or repeat business rather than jump around from broker to broker for every load.
And looks like kind of follow up to that question, Prasad, maybe you can keep on with this one. It says, will other brokers or carriers see my loads?
No. Again, so all your load information is fully confidential. Only the carriers that are qualified in your network can see your available loads. Even then, you can limit who can see your load information. At no point, no other broker can see your loads.
Cool. And somebody's asking whether or not smart capacity can replace my load boards. Chuck, do you want to take that one?
Sure, yeah, absolutely, Brad. We believe the smart capacity can replace load boards. So with all of the things that we've talked about here, there's a difference between what smart capacity is offering and what the load boards typically do. We're really trying to help focus on those one load wonders to make sure that you're utilizing the same carriers in your network and not having to set up multiple carriers that you're only using one time. We're also offering that real load data where we're taking the information that we have through our app and other sources to make sure that the trucks that we're offering are really available where you are calling to try to get them booked. So a lot of different things that we are doing where we think that absolutely smart capacity could replace load boards.
Awesome. Thank you, Chuck. The next question, I'm not too sure if it's on the smart capacity or the Tailwind side, but it was, what is the training like? Maybe Linda, do you want to talk a little bit about the training available on Tailwind, and then we can pass it over to Chuck to talk about smart capacity?
You bet. Thanks, Brad. Absolutely. Tailwind offers you lots of ways to learn how to use our software. We have a customer success and support center with every needed to learn how to use our software. We offer 2 live classes every week where I walk you through how to set up your database and learn how to use your software. As well, we have an in-app chat that lets you talk directly with any member on our support team. So I think that's truly the biggest part of Tailwind is our customer service. We're there to help you be successful. Over to you, Chuck, to talk about smart capacities training.
Thanks, Linda. Yeah, Trucker Tools is also very focused on customer service and customer support. So we have a full support team, and part of the smart capacity subscription and setup fees includes any training that you might need, as well as support once you get live and get going.
Oh. And on the smart capacity side, is pricing based on number of users?
Pricing is not based on number of users. So a subscription does include unlimited users and can fit the needs of your business.
Okay. And are there trial versions? So I'm assuming that's probably a smart capacity question. Is there a trial that's available, or how does that work, Chuck?
Yes, we can discuss having a trial for folks that are interested in that.
Awesome. And just if the question actually was regarding Tailwind, there are free trials available with the Tailwind software as well. So yeah, if you just sign up for the free trial, the one gets automatically started for you. So that is available. And it looks like questions are slowing down here. Maybe give a couple seconds to see if there's additional ones coming. And if others do come to you as as they come up, please let us. You can always reach out to us directly using the email addresses here or the phone numbers. Let me just give a quick look again here to see if there's any additional questions that have come in. And hopefully I'm not just missing them somehow. All right. Oh, sorry about that. Well, thank you very much. And we are coming up to our time here. So if there are, again, additional questions that come, please send them through via email or give us a shout. And I'd like to thank all of our presenters and everyone who took time out today to join us. Should you have, like I said, additional questions, reach out using the contact details on this slide. And also, if you could take a few seconds at the end of this webinar to provide a bit of feedback in a super quick 3-question survey that will pop up, that would be wonderful. And with that, we wish you a great rest of your day, as well as a healthy and prosperous 2019.
Thank you, Brad. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Brad.
Yes, and thanks everyone for attending.